Hey everybody, I'm Chef Teddy B, and welcome to Made Scratch Texas. Today we're filming out of our commercial kitchen in Southlake Texas, and people always ask me, what is your favorite dish to cook? Well, I think tonight is it. Tonight is going to be date night for me and my wife. We've been married for a blissful 35 years, and guys, there's one thing I've learned throughout the years. People always ask me the secret of a long, successful marriage is if mama's not happy, nobody's happy. So tonight we're gonna make mama happy. We're gonna do a little surf and turf. We're gonna have some prime beef tenderloin, some Chilean sea bass, but we're gonna first start off with some stuffed mushrooms as an appetizer, and we're gonna wrap it up, pairing up with some prosciutto wrapped asparagus. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. Hope it's 5 o'clock wherever you're at, because we're starting early. Cheers. Welcome back, everybody. So let's get started with the appetizers, and they can be cooking while we start our steaks. So while we're away, I went ahead and started on our stuffed mushrooms. So what appetizer for tonight is, it's one of my most popular appetizers, and it's perfect for date night. Portobello mushrooms. It's gonna stuff with an herb-infused goat cheese, and then to finish it off, we're gonna lightly pat it with some Italian breadcrumbs, and we're gonna put these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes just to warm them all the way through. Absolutely amazing. It's gonna set the mood for your wonderful, wonderful date night with a special person in your life. Let's get these in the oven. We'll come back, we'll cut the steaks, get them on the grill, and get rolling. Y'all come back. All right, so we've got the mushrooms cooking in the oven. We're gonna go ahead and wrap our asparagus, and then we'll go ahead and cut the steaks. So we've got some beautiful new fine stalks of asparagus. We've trimmed the edges off. And what we want to do, my personal favorite, because we're going to grill these, I like to wrap them in prosciutto. So the prosciutto comes on a nice sheeted piece, and prosciutto so thinly cut. We're going to take the prosciutto, let's move this out of the way so you can see what we're doing. Take the asparagus, one piece of prosciutto, and roll it top to bottom. And then I don't really like to put the prosciutto across here because that's the most flavorful part of the asparagus. So we'll do one more. And I'll repeat this 8 more times, and then we'll get these on the grill. Y'all come right back and see us, and we'll start the steaks.
From the most casual get-togethers to the grandest affairs, Scratch Catering has mastered the art of catering in Dallas-Fort Worth. And it's not just our food, but our personal touch and exceptional service that sets us apart. Why settle for anything not made scratch? Trust Scratch Catering to make every event memorable.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So we've wrapped 3 stalks for asparagus for my wife, 3 stalks of asparagus for myself. Now we're gonna go ahead and trim the steaks because we're gonna grill the steaks over charcoal, and then we'll come back here and we'll pan-sear the sea bass. So what we've done before we got started is, all of our beef we bring in is prime USDA tenderloin. And we've cleaned it, we've taken the side muscle off, trimmed all the fat, and we're just gonna cut right down the middle so you can see how pretty. It's just got a little bit of marbling. Tenderloin is the most tenderest cut of meat. I personally prefer the ribeye because it's got more marbling in it, more flavor, but the tenderloin is so easy on the teeth and it's so easy to chew. The way we're gonna season it puts more flavoring into it. So we're gonna cut 2 steaks about 1 inch thick. Put these over here. And what I like to do is put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil on it, coat them both sides. Then y'all have heard me talk about our special Cajun seasoning. We want to coat all 4 sides. And then I've got my coarse salt and coarse pepper mix. And get all sides coated. And then kind of what sets us apart when other people do their steaks is I like to coat everything in a dark French roast coffee. Once you get the coffee on there, it's almost unrecognizable that it's a steak. But believe me, when you pull it off the grill and slice in the middle of it, it will be mouth watering. All right, steaks are seasoned, prosciutto's wrapped. Let's take a quick break, go fill your bourbon or wine back up, meet me over at the grill and grill these off. Y'all come back and see us. Hey, welcome back everybody. So while we were away, I went ahead and got our charcoal grills fired up. We're rolling at about 400 degrees. I'm gonna let them go, probably about 450 is what I like to cook at. We're gonna go ahead and start the tenderloins on this side. Again, they've been seasoned with our Cajun blend of seasoning, salt, pepper, garlic, and then covered in a dark roast coffee. And then what I like to do to kind of help add the flavor and the juiciness is I'll put a pat of butter on each one, and we're gonna let it go for probably 3.5 to 4 minutes per side. The butter will melt down, we'll flip them, we'll repeat. Then we're gonna pull the steaks, we'll let them rest. When we flip them the next time, I'll put the asparagus on, so the asparagus and the steaks will all finish at the same time. So go refill that cocktail, pour your wife another glass of wine. We're halfway home to date night. So come back and see me. Hey everybody, welcome back. So our steaks are grilling out. The grill's at about 450 degrees. Been on for about 3.5 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and turn them. And just like we did before, we're gonna put a pat of butter on each steak. And we're gonna go ahead and close the lid and get that fire to die down. Then we'll put the asparagus on. Steaks are gonna go for another 3.5 minutes. That'll be about a 7.5 minute, maybe try to get 8 minutes, then we'll let the steaks rest. Y'all come back, we'll have the asparagus on and we'll wrap this thing up. Hey everybody, welcome back. So while you guys were away, I've been enjoying a nice glass of Land Run bourbon, some of my favorite spirits in the United States. Steaks are almost done, asparagus is done. We're gonna go ahead and pull the steaks, wrap them in foil. They're gonna sit and rest while we do our pan-seared sea bass. So you can see our asparagus, it's got some nice grill marks on it. We'll pull these off. Steaks can be cooked to a medium rare, and they'll continue to cook off when we wrap them. Guys, when you're cooking that steak for that special someone in your life, the whole key to a great steak is letting it rest. Those juices will continue to emulsify in the meat. I can't say anything more about it. Just don't grill it and cut it. That's the mistake. You got to let it rest. So we're going to let this rest while we grill the sea bass. So we'll just go back to the other side of the kitchen and we'll get started on the fish. Y'all come right back.
In the heart of the American frontier, where legacies are born and spirits thrive, lies land that offers the perfect blend of quality raw materials, exceptional natural resources, and an extremely erratic environment. An environment perfect for producing premium whiskeys. Land Run Distillery. Premium whiskeys rooted in tradition.
Hey everybody, welcome back. So we've got the beef tenderloin grilled. Asparagus has been wrapped and that's been grilled as well. Mushrooms are getting ready to come out of the oven. Last thing we got to do is the sea bass. So I've got our Chilean sea bass and we're gonna go ahead and season it. We're gonna keep it simple. Salt, pepper, garlic mix. We're gonna make sure all sides are coated. And guys, when you bring this back, if you go to your local butcher, have them cut the thickest piece of the fish they can. We patted the fish dry. The spices will take to it. And the reason we do the patting the dry, you'll see here in a minute when we start grilling the pan-seared and the fish, it'll give a nice charred crust to it. So simple kosher salt, coarse ground pepper, granulated garlic. Last but not least, again, my favorite, a little bit Cajun seasoning. Won't put too much on it because Mama doesn't like the spiciness. And this is date night, of course, so if Mama's not happy, nobody's gonna be happy tonight. All right, so the fish has been seasoned. I've got our cast iron skillet, has been warmed up, and we're gonna go ahead and put in about 1, 2, 3, 4 pats of butter. I've got some granulated garlic. Gonna put that in there. We're gonna let this melt and then we'll cook the fish. So while that's melting, quick story on my cast iron skillet. My grandfather had this and he gave that to me after he passed. And that skillet is probably every bit of 100 years old. the special boning knife. Both of my grandfathers were butchers. They were in the food business. I can't tell you which one I got it from, but this boning knife, again, has got every bit of 100 years old, and you can see how thin it's got through the years of sharpening. But it's so sharp, we clean our briskets with this, we cut the steaks, and you could practically probably shave with this knife. Anyway, always like to have a little sentimental value in the kitchen. Just makes for a great story, and it just makes sure that I keep the loved ones in us on a daily basis. So, all right, so I've got the butter and the garlic going in the cast iron skillet. Now we're gonna take the sea bass. So for my sea bass, I like to let it go probably 2.5 minutes per side. These may go a little bit longer because the butcher, again, I asked for the thickest piece of bass we could get, and they're probably 1.5 inches thick. We may let them go about 3.5 minutes. But the way we like to cook it is we like to cook it just slightly above rare to a medium rare. That way when you're pulling the fish with your fork, it just kind of flakes off in layers. So while this is cooking, go back and fill that wine up, your favorite glass of bourbon. Y'all come back and see me in 5 minutes and we're ready to plate dinner. Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you refilled that bourbon or poured you a nice glass of wine because we're getting ready to eat. Sea bass is done. So again, we cooked everything in the cast iron skillet. If you can kind of see the whiteness coming out of the fish, that tells me it's done. It's gonna be to a cool, medium rare finish. All right, so to start this plating, so we're gonna start with 3 stalks of asparagus. We're gonna point the asparagus at 12 o'clock. We're gonna take a piece of our Chilean sea bass, and we're gonna put it in asparagus this way, right at about facing 9 o'clock. Our prime beef tenderloin right there. And we're each gonna get 2 mushrooms. We're gonna garnish with some flat leaf chopped Italian parsley. Make a pretty plate. And we're gonna take 2 sprigs of rosemary, lay it on the steak, lay it on the fish. And guys, you have got a magnificent surf and turf date night special. So, raise your glass of bourbon, fill your glass of wine, get that special lady in your life, y'all sit down for dinner, and you know what? You can send me your thank yous later because it's amazing and you got all kinds of points coming. Y'all have a great night. Be sure to join me next week for another episode of Made Scratch Texas with Chef Teddy B. Y'all take care.